Hello, this is Jackie with Jacqueline with Creative Paper Crafting with Jackie. I laugh because if you knew me real well, nobody ever calls me Jackie. That's a family name. And so some of us are Jackie, Jacqueline. We all have similar names, so I laugh. And I'm on the wrong live. Let me go to my live. I'm trying to go to my live so I can read comments. There we go. I see it. All right. So I'm just putting my phone where I can see it so that I can catch any comments. And if you say hi, I know you're on. If you don't say hi, I don't know you're on. Hi, Robin. How are you? All right. So this is a international doll. International doll. So I decided that she is from Spain. So I'm going to make her hopefully a little bit more tanned. I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit more. There we go. And that will put the My Besties name out of frame just a little bit. So I'm going to bring that down. That way we can see it. All right, so she is an international doll. And hi, Gail. How are you? She is a My Besties. And I just have the piece of paper to kind of cover her face so she doesn't get, you know, stolen off the internet. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because I know it is Super Bowl Sunday and some of you are wanting to watch the game and the commercials and all that stuff. And so I'm going to use FS4. Let me, here we go. TN2, TN3, and CR3. And these markers, I got one wonderful deal on them. They're from, I bought them from a friend. I don't know if she wants me to say her name out loud or not, so I won't say her name because she might not want me to. And if she wants me to, she'll say so. Anyway, I bought an entire set. I've never had an entire set of markers. And to get these would have cost the same amount. I still needed like 40 in this set. It would have cost me the same amount to buy just those 40. So I got a whole set, and she labeled them. She has them swatched. It's fantastic. So I just had to show you that. That was just super wonderful. So today I am going to use my Spectrum Noirs. So, you know, a lot of days I use my Copics. So this is the TN2, which I love. I'll still be using them. I like to rotate back and forth because I know that everybody has different markers, and that way you can see that any alcohol markers will work. You know, I just want you to know that use what you have. You know, don't go out and buy special ones. I've actually been buying my markers over several years, so it's not like I just got a full set this year or something. Well, I did now because I bought these, you know, off my friend. He was selling them, so that really, and they're refillable. So you know, if you know a person, I wouldn't recommend buying markers from somebody you don't really know. But if you know somebody and you know that they're an avid crafter and they're taking care of their things, which I knew my friend would take care of her things, then, you know, buying used is just fine. But you don't want to buy used off of somebody you don't know, because you don't know how well they've taken care of something. So I'm just kind of giving you, you know, kind of my advice. All right, now she's going to look a little harsh until we get her hair done and get her face completely done, her clothes. You know, when you're first doing the face, our little dolls look a little harsh, but once we get all the colors in on the hair, softens up the face. I think it's, you know, kind of true about us too. When we do our makeup and stuff, we might look a little harsh, and then we do our hair and we pull ourselves all together and we look fantastic. So I'm just going back and forth. So this is my TN2, and I appreciate everybody that's watching because I know it is Super Bowl Sunday, and that's a big, 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 big day. I'm not a big sports fan, and I didn't really, when I was planning out my date, didn't think about that. So I might not have had it today because I don't know how many people would get on. But then I thought, well, there might be people that get on that aren't into watching the preliminary part of, you know, the pregame stuff. they might, you know, want to get on and hang out, and then get off and watch the game. So, I mean, I will probably turn it on a little bit. I'm not sure if my husband will want to watch or not. He's mudding a room right now, doing the drywall, trying to get it all ready. So, hi, Dawn. I'm afraid nobody will be on mine. I think they will, Dawn. You have like the best attendance I've ever seen in my life. I think they'll be on, Dawn. I think they will. Hi, Jackie. Jackie, I was just telling people about this wonderful bargain that I got on these markers and how my friend even labeled them and swatched them. But I didn't say her name because I didn't want to put her on the spot in case she didn't want to be put on the spot. But I was just saying how, you know, if you're going to buy something used, you know, make sure you buy it from somebody that you know, because you don't want to get something that somebody hasn't taken care of. But then I knew that these were well loved, so I was okay. So that's what we've been kind of talking about. I'm catching people up. And I'm just trying to go to my, oh, hi, Sandra. Just trying to go and see who all's on. Just to see who's kind of watching with us. Now, I said that I decided that she was going to be from Spain, because these are international besties, and so she's a little bit more tanned than I am, because, you know, in Spain they have sunshine during this time of year. They have lovely beaches, and I have students that are from Spain, and they show me pictures. I always wonder, why did you come to Indiana when you live right by the ocean and it's so beautiful? But, you know, to them it's everyday life, and they don't think about it. But then once they get here, they're like, oh my goodness, we miss the ocean. So, anyway, so I decided she's from Spain, so I'm going to make her a little bit darker than I typically do. Make her a little bit tanned. And also she's in, I think these are shorts. You'll see in a moment. And I just felt like she's, you know, been out in the sun, having a good time. So I'm just trying to shade, and I printed her at 3.7 because of my die. I was trying to get her to fit on my paper a certain way. So when you do these, you can print them, you know, you can print them whatever size you want. That's the beauty of Digi, is that you can print them any size you want. Now she will look, you know, once she has her hair done, it will soften up her face a little bit. And I might go back in after I do her face, after I do her hair, and try to soften her up a little bit more. We'll see. We'll see how she looks after we do her hair. Now, I always like to do my besties with pretty rosy cheeks. And, oh, and this is another thing. When I got these markers, some of them have the wonderful brush tip, which I love. So, isn't that nice? I don't know that I could ever be this organized, and so I'm so grateful. Maybe this has inspired me to become a little more organized with my own markers, and maybe I'll do the same and label them like that. They're labeled to the swatches. I just think that's such a cool idea. All right, so we're going to do her hair in just a moment, and if anybody has any questions, please ask. There's several of us that are on that'll be happy to answer questions. We all kind of do lives and follow each other. So, you know, there's Dawn from Dawn G Designs, and she has a live tonight. She's doing a really cute image. And Gail from Stamping with Gail Sue. And there's Sharon that has the Noble Crafters. Sharon and Kevin, so they're the Noble Crafters. So there's several people online that could answer questions if I miss them. And all right, so like I said, I will probably go back over her skin just a little bit. Now I wanted to do her eyes, and I'm using gold. This is something I love about the Spectrum Noirs, actually, is I love their gold colors. I just think they're so pretty. And there's these, and then there's this GY3, the GY series. So there's the GB and the GY series. And some of their colors are just, I think, stunning. Alright, so I'm going to do her eyes. I'm going with a little bit darker. And you use these just like any other alcohol markers where you're trying to shade and use a mid-tone. So I'm just going a little bit up here, so a little bit darker, coming around, and then, sorry, when I concentrate I get a little quiet, coming around. So I'm making her eyes kind of a light color, kind of a goldish color. I have several students from Spain, and I noticed that their eyes had really like little gold flecks. They were so pretty. And so I thought, oh, that kind of inspired me to use this color. So then I go back up, and I am going over it twice, but at the same time. Like normally I do it, then do lighter, and then go back and do darker. But I went ahead and did twice up top and twice around the bottom. So I think that makes her eyes just kind of pop this color. So pretty. I'm going to go ahead and take this off, and let's finish her skin, and then we'll do her hair. So I am going to take out, because I kind of put them off to the side, 3 and 4. And then we'll do her hair. And I'm trying to catch up and see if I missed. Oh, hi, Sharon. How are you? Oh, hi, Stephanie. Congratulations, Stephanie. She won on Connie Fong's drawing. She won, you know, and she deserved it because she has, like, Stephanie makes beautiful cards. So it was really wonderful. Hi, Belinda. Just trying to see, and Saunders on. Trying to see all who's on. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. I'm not really good at reading my comments and coloring at the same time and talking. As you can see, I'm kind of good at talking, but so there we are, T and 2. You know, I don't even know who is playing at the halftime. Does anybody know? You know, I'm going to show my age here. I really loved when Prince played because he had the high school bands come out and really kind of focused on them a bit, and I thought, you know, wow, what a big thing to do, you know. So I really loved watching him, but I don't know who's on. And then let's see, I watched when Lady Gaga did hers, and that was pretty phenomenal. I think they're always pretty neat, but people you know, there's always controversy every year. So anyway, I don't know who's playing. If you guys know, tell me. Share. Because it'd be interesting. You know, that must be a big honor to get to play at the games. And to get to sing would be, it's like sing the anthem and all that would be phenomenal. I think it's in Miami. When I lived in Miami, they were just building the stadium. And then I moved away. Crazily moved away because every day was 80 and beautiful, 80 and beautiful. And I thought, gosh, does the days ever change? I really miss wearing a jacket. So I came back to Indiana. Now I'm thinking, I don't know what I did. I actually moved from Miami to Savannah. And then here. And I really don't know what I did. Because I really loved... Actually, I loved living in Savannah. Crazy things we do when we're young and we're not thinking about it. We think we have all the time in the world and we can come back. Did you say that Cher is on halftime? No. Is Cher on halftime? No. Really? Oh my gosh. Is she? If she is, I have to get Kyra. She's taking a little nap. I'll have to wake her up because, oh my goodness. She, you know, she's a baby. She's 20 months old. She has me play the song Babe over and over and over again. So, oh my goodness. If she's truly on, I'll have to get her up. Yes, Sharon, I decided to make her tan. I'm making her tan because she is an international. This is from the international doll line. So I decided to make her from Spain. And I was looking at my students from Spain, and I have some lovely, very lovely students, and they all have a beautiful skin tone, beautiful tanned skin tone. So that's what I was trying to do, was emulate. Now see, she's got some big toes right here, doesn't she? I was trying to emulate their skin tone, and they have these really pretty eyes with like gold specks in their eyes. Just beautiful. And so that's what I was trying to emulate, is tanned, kind of tan skin. And I'm just going back over this again to kind of, I want to give her a little bit of definition. Now, this international line, I don't think any of the dolls on the international line say what country they're from, so you can use your imagination. And that's what I was doing today. So, you can color these dolls any way you want, with any skin color you want. Because I've actually seen her done recently with pretty blonde hair, and I saw her one time with purple hair. The different DTs have different ideas, and they're all fantastic. So I recommend that you get on Sherry Baldy's page, Facebook page, so you can see, oh, one more place where she has skin, so that you can see the pretty creations all the DTs do that are inspiration to you. You know, so I'm just doing right there, and I'm going to go back in with the TN3 and try to go lightly. Just kind of go very light touch. Because I do switch back and forth between the Copics, I'm trying to be careful because you get kind of used to holding one, and with these I tend to be even heavier handed, so I'm trying to be careful to not be. But I love these, and I just love alcohol markers. I have quite a few different kinds, but this is the first time I've had an entire set of something. Alright, so there is her skin. And I'm trying to stay in frame. Let me see if anybody had any questions. I added, did you chat to Tony, Jacqueline? No, I haven't chatted to Tony today. Well, I've been down here for the last hour, so I had not. Okay, I am using EB6, EB4, and EB2. So this is going to be for her hair. And I am going, and these are illustrators, which are really no different. The ink is no different than the Spectrum Noirs. And I have these colors in the Spectrum Noirs, but I like the brush nib. When I'm doing hair, I really like the brush nib. So that's why I'm going ahead and using these instead of using, I think they call them classiques now, but these are like the originals. But they are, I'll show you the difference. See, they have a tip like this instead of the brush nib. So that is the difference. But some of these have the brush nib because they were added later, which is something I could do. And maybe I will, you know. So I'm just starting at her hairline. I just wanted to show you the difference. I have a friend that's just getting into coloring, and she was wondering the difference, and I don't know if she's on or not, but I told her I was going to show you the difference if you got online with me today. And then some people have the tri-blends, which are these. These are the tri-blends, and I think I have only 4 of them. If you have 4, you know, it's 3. So if you have 4, that means you've got 12 different colors. But these are all the same ink. So that's why I say use what you have. Don't go out and buy lots of new stuff. Just use what you have. And be happy with what you have. So I'm just trying to go in, see where her hair has a bend. Now I love doing hair with the Copics. And these are good too. But I think I don't know, I almost feel more comfortable when I do it with the Copics. But we shall see. So I'm kind of doing squiggles because see, her hair is wavy. If she had curly hair, then I would do like loop-de-loop. I almost think curly hair, some people hate to do curly hair. I love doing curly hair. I think curly hair is, I don't know, easier. But I find wavy hair a little bit difficult. And then some of these strands are quite small down here. One of the DTs, she did her hair, what do you call that when you have the 2 different colors? That's very popular. I just thought she looked so pretty. That's why you should look and see how everybody else is doing the cards, and that gives you inspiration for making cards yourself. Alright, so I'm going to go in. I'm just going to pull this out a little bit more, and I'm trying to do little short strokes. So this was my EB2, and so I'm going to go in with my EB4, which is the medium. So I am going backwards between light, dark, light, medium, and dark. When I do hair, I feel more comfortable doing it that way. So I'm going to flick this, but I'm not going to go quite as far out as I did with the light. I don't know why. I just feel more comfortable with hair starting with the light first. Whereas other things, I often start with the dark first. So I'm just going like this. And I'm just going kind of squiggly lines. And then we will do our dark color. And I'll try to do these strands ever so gently. And then right in here. Do they, let's see what anybody says. Ombre, that's right. Ombre, ombre, ombre. You are correct. Ombre. That is it. That's what I was trying to say. I saw someone do the hair in an ombre technique, and I thought, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Very pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to do the dark, the EB6, which is called Bark. And so again, I'm doing up here by the roots, but I'm not going as far as I did when I did my light. And I'm just going over it again, and over in here. Hair takes the longest. Then once you get past the hair, the other parts of her are you know, quicker. So you just have to know that hair takes the longest, and then we'll put together a card once we get her done. Alright, so I'm going to go back with my medium again, which is my EB4, and just kind of pull this out. The more layers you put on, the richer the color. And this paper I'm using tonight is, or this afternoon, is Sweet Sentiment paper. And I just think it's very pretty paper. It just takes color so well. So I love it. A little bit, it's not expensive. I'm not saying that. It's not overly expensive, but you do want to kind of conserve it for your best images. Now, if you want something, if you're going to do something true white, you're going to want to do a different paper, but, you know, it's a great paper. Okay. Just looking to see. Oh, I hope you don't hear. Now, Jackie, is that true that Cher is on at halftime? Are you guys serious? Oh my goodness. You know, I actually think she's beautiful. I have people that they'll comment about her plastic surgery and stuff, and I just think she's so pretty. I don't know. When I'm, you know, her age, you know, I can't afford plastic surgery, but if I did, I'd say go ahead and talk about me. If I'm this pretty and you know, had this plastic surgery and yet I'm so pretty, go ahead and talk about me. Truth is, I'd be afraid to have. I'm a big chicken when it comes to surgery. But if I wasn't, I would love, love, love to have a little bit of nip and tuck. Okay. Of course, you know, it's their livelihood, star's livelihood to look good. So naturally, they probably are going to have some surgery done. So I'm just going over this with the light color. I'm trying to be careful because she has an earring right here, right in the center of her hair. I'm trying not to get the marker. And I'm trying to do like this little squiggly lines, although you probably can't really tell. But that is what I'm trying to do. And right in here. And we're going to sit back in a moment and we're just going to kind of take a look, see what we think, if we need to do a little bit more work on the hair. What I often do, I know this is going to sound crazy, I take a picture of my cards, and then I don't know, it gives me like another opinion, like another lens, and then I can say, oh, I need to do a little bit more shading. And that is often what I do. Sometimes when I finish my lives, I'm taking my pictures, and then I'll go back in and I'll do just a little bit more shading, because the camera picks things up differently. So it is something I do. Okay, I'm just trying to do short flicks. Short flicks. my husband is mudding. We're putting up drywall. We had a hallway like put in and making a little room for the baby now. So she has her own room. So that's what you're hearing if you're hearing some noise. But, you know, you got to work on our days off. So, all right, there we go. So there we go with her hair. So yeah, I'm going to go in with my EB6 right here. My EB6. Actually, what I'm going to do is actually go in with my EB5. And I'm going to use, you know what? That does not look like EB5. No. Oh, no, that's not EB5. Sorry. Whew, I almost made a mistake there. I'm going to go in with this bullet nib and kind of make some individual strands. I'm just following where she has already got, see where she already has hair drawn. Just kind of just adding a little bit of separation in her hair, because I do think she looks a little flat. So just a little bit, just very lightly, just trying to do it very lightly, barely touching. Just that one's a little too heavy, but that's okay. A little light. Okay, just trying to add a little bit of strands. There we go. Just a little bit, because I think that her hair was looking a little too flat. And then I'm going to go back in with my EB4, just kind of blend it all together a little bit, but just little flicks. There we go. Hair is one of those things you have to kind of sit back and look at and evaluate. I'm going to turn her, just do little flicks. There we go. And there we go. Sorry, I know that makes people kind of seasick. Now she does have this strand, so I'm just going to loop-de-loop, see, loop-de-loop down her hair right there. There we go. There we go. All right. So there she is. And I might go in after we do this little flower and do her a little bit more on her hair. We'll see. Okay, so we're going to do her flower next. And let me get out the colors I had for her flower. I have a GB3 and this GB1 and GB5. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of work on the flower. So I'm just doing, and this is going to tie in with the paper. Here's some of the paper right here. So it's going to tie in with the paper, the colors that I'm using. I was trying to make her look summery, bright and summery. Oh, I think I'm a little bit out of frame. Let me see which way to go. Oh, thank you, Dawn. Yeah, taking pictures truly changes the look of things. I often think coloring is much prettier than real life. Well, I do think that coloring is prettier than real life. Comments on has frozen, so I don't know. You can't see? All right, let me see if I can, there, reposition her a little bit. There we go. So hopefully you can see the connection. And I was a little panicked. I think the internet is low today because so many people are on for the Super Bowl. So I do apologize, and I think it's getting worse as we get closer to the time. So I will try to zip through a little bit quicker because I'm afraid that the internet's going to go off. I think that's what's happening. Again, I didn't know. Let me, hang on. Let me switch this. I'm going to switch this. Yeah, there we go. I think people are losing me because of the internet. So I do apologize. I'm going to carry on, and if we lose people, I apologize. I do apologize. All right, so we are going to do her little flower down here also. I'm going to keep going, and I'm trying to go fast because I think that, like I said, I think people are streaming and it's making the internet connection low. So I'm just trying to do her flower down here. And then I'm going to go in with the GB1. And, whew, I feel like I'm racing now. There we go. I almost feel, you know, that looks a lot like her skin tone, but this is for the flower. So, go in a little bit and just putting little dots. Just little dots to give it a little bit, see a little bit of dimension over here. Just a little bit. All right, so let's get her shirt done. So we used GT3 and GT1 is what, and GT2, 3, and 1 is what I'm going to use on her shirt. So I'm going to use the 3 right here where she, right in here where there's the fringe. And then I'm also going to do this right here on her trousers. Right here. So like that. And I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to go over it again on the sides because I'm just using this one color because I want to give it some depth. There we go. So now I'm going to take her GT2 and we're going to accentuate these lines when I get done. I'm just putting the darker color over here off to the side. And right here, right there. And then I'm going to go in with my GT1. Just kind of pull it out. And I'm going to turn her. Try to pull this out. I think the new ink, the Spectrum Noir, has really improved since the originals. And I think that it's really rich. Very rich and very pretty. So I do like it. So I'm just kind of putting darker here. I'm going to go over this a couple of times. Like that. There we go. And a little bit more right there. And then I'm going to go back in with the GT1. And I'm just going to kind of lightly, see, I'm just kind of lightly pulling that. There we go. And then I'm going to go in with my GT3 for her stripes. See, she's got these little stripes in her shirt. But I didn't want to have a ton of different colors, so I'm trying to keep the colors down a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to put this here, see, on the side to give a little bit more shading, like that, and a little bit right there. There we go. Oh, I'm going to do her her band on her. I kind of think these are shorts. Maybe it's a skirt. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not sure. Okay. I'm so glad some of you came back. I'm so glad that you're sticking with me, even though the internet kind of terrible today. I should have anticipated that. That's something you might want to think about, Dawn. I don't know what your internet is like where you live. I live in a rural area, so I don't know what your internet's like. But you might want to keep that in mind. All right, so now that's her shorts. I mean, her band. And so now we're going to do her shorts. And so, I know this sounds terrible. I wasn't 100% sure what color I was going to do, but we're going to go with TB1, TB2, and TB3. And I'm going to go in actually with the lighter shade, only because I know this is quite a difference in colors there. I'm only going in with the lighter shade because I wanted to get the paper wet just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to just pull this out. I was trying to make these look like denim is what I was trying to do, but with this pretty green edge. I'll tell you, I don't know if you've met any students from Spain. Their fashion sense is very, very bright. And I guess it's, because they're living in a very warm area. and so they love bright colors. So I actually based her outfit on an outfit that one of my students was wearing the other day. So now I'm going to go with my TB1, and I'm just lightly going over it right here. So see, that gives us some shading. So I'm just going to pull it over lightly. And then right here. And what I'm going to do is, because this almost bleached it out, I'm going to take my marker like this. I call it mirroring it. And I'm just going to kind of squiggle up. That way it's still lighter. It gives it some shading, but it doesn't look bleached out. See how when I color with the TB1, it's giving it almost a bleached out look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over it, like this, and then I'm going to go back in with my TB3. Don't be afraid to experiment with your markers to get the look you want. So I'm going to go back in, kind of do the shading, sort of almost in reverse, because it sort of bleached it out. So I want to go back in, and she's got a beautiful little hourglass figure, right? So we want to show it off. There we go. So there we go. Now, I'm going to do her purse. And so I'm just going to do her purse in the lighter green. Let's see if I have it. Okay. Let's see, where did I set it at? Oh, this LG3. I thought I would use this LG right here. So I'm just going to do her purse. We had an exchange student with us one summer years ago. Very nice, very curious about our traditions. Yes. I have found my students are very, 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 very curious. And I mean, we're curious about their traditions too. And I really learned a lot from them. Some of my students, sometimes they can just bring me to tears because we have like, you know, we have one thought in our head, DG3. We have one thought in our head, and it's totally not really how their life is. I had a student from the Congo, from Africa, from the Congo, and he's a basketball player. And whenever he would give a PowerPoint presentation, we do them every week, working on our speaking, he would leave people with goosebumps. And one time he did one where he showed all the magnificent animals and the terrain, and just beautiful. And he said that that made him actually sad, because that is what Americans' opinion was because of Tarzan movies, and that life was really not. And then he showed, I'm using let me see if that's what I'm going to use, GB8. Then he showed pictures of his village, and the children, their clothes were basically falling off of them. They were, you know, holes and tears, and just so poor, such a poor village. And he said that was what life was really like, and that it made him sad that Americans had this thought about his country based on movies of Tarzan. And I thought, kind of does make you feel a little bad that is how we view the world through movies, because we aren't able to travel. So we don't travel like other countries do, you know, like people in other countries do. So we often view the world in a lens that's not really accurate. Just like the students that come here, they think America is just, you know, perfect, everything's easy. And then when they get here and they realize things are more expensive than they thought and more difficult than they thought. And, you know, it's a rude awakening for both groups of people. Okay, so I'm going to do her shoes, and I'm going to use BG2, BG3, and BG4 on her shoes. And so, on her flip-flops. So I'm just going to go in, and the colors I'm using are, I know they're kind of a muted color, but the paper is kind of muted, so I'll show you. It's very pretty paper. I'll really feel sad because on my last sheet of my favorite paper, I went and searched on the internet, and oh my gosh, they're selling this paper pad for a crazy expensive price, so I won't be buying it. But I really want it. But then I would become a paper hoarder, wouldn't I? If you don't use what you have, you're a paper hoarder. I don't want to be that either. All right. So I'm just going back and forth. I'm going to go over her shoes one more time. So dark, medium, light. And this is BG2, BG3, BG4. And I have these. I didn't have to use this. It's just that the tri-blends are kind of convenient. It was right here by me. So that's why I grabbed it. Because I do have these. I didn't have to do this. So I'm just going back in. I want to give her some shading. There we go. There we go. Go to the bottom of the shoe a little bit. All right. I don't think I missed anything on her. So there she is. And now we're going to assemble our card while we still have internet. And I'll show you the paper I picked out, which you've seen this paper before. So see, it's pretty paper, but kind of a muted color. And so I based her colors on the paper, on her outfit. So let's assemble. So this is a 6x6 card, and I already did, oh, my screen is a little blurry, moving the table. So I've already cut this out to kind of save some time. You know what, I'm going to zoom it out instead of in so you can see what, oh, let me go the other way, so you can see me assemble the card. And again, this is a My Besties image. I'm using art glitter glue, which is my favorite. And there's this big lag. You'll catch up in a minute. There we go. Now I might have zoomed out too much, but I wanted you to be able to see me assemble the card. So this is 6x6, and I cut my pieces an 1/8 of an inch, about an 1/8 of an inch less, because I'm matting. Let me try to, I usually stand up and do this. There we go. It's kind of off just a little bit. So this is an 1/8 of an inch shorter or narrower. So here we go. I just think it's such pretty paper. And there we go. I just love these flowers. I really wish I could buy this pad again, but I cannot. All right, so this is the next layer, and I've got some brads, so we're going to do that in a moment. I'm going to put this together. Then we're going to pop this layer up. Pop her up. Pop it up, rather. There we go. So I do have, let me get it out because I'm going to use some brads here. And some hearts. I have learned my lesson. It's better to go ahead and put your brad on ahead of time than to try to do it afterwards, because I kept doing it afterwards, and that's not a good thing to do. So I'm going to assemble this. I put just for you, and I typed this up on my computer. I just created it myself, just for you. You can buy stamps, and I have a lot. I have tons and tons, really, of stamps, but sometimes you can just make your own sentiment. So I have learned my lesson from doing these lives to quit trying to do these after it's assembled. Let's put the hole in first. So I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I'm eyeballing so I don't cover up my word. So that's what I'm trying to do. There we go. So I put my hole up here, and then what I'm going to do is, again, so I want it around in here. So I'm going to take this and just kind of put it right. I'm looking, so I'm kind of eyeballing it now. There we go. I want it around there. So now, see, I can put this here, put this through. There you go. See, before I was assembling the whole card and then trying to go back and do that, and that was not smart. There we go. Now, see, I did still cover up the J just a little bit, but that's okay. There we go. Now we're going to pop that up. feel like I'm just zipping because I'm worried about losing you guys. K and Company paper. It is K and Company paper, and it is the prettiest paper. Let me see if I have the, I only have, oh my gosh, I only have like 3 sheets left. This is the paper right here. Susan Wingett designer paper, and like I don't have any of these left. I just have the green and this little yellow and this I don't know what color you call it. I just have like 3 sheets left because I've used it all up. I just think it's the prettiest paper ever. But I looked on the internet and they were selling these packets for I'm sorry for coughing, for like $30 and $40, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. And I'll show you, I paid, when I bought mine, I paid $4.99. It was several years ago. Sorry, I'm taking a drink. I've got a little tickle in my throat. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, I'm not going to pay that kind of money for a paper pad. But I really want it. Isn't that terrible? I guess I must have loved it because I used it a lot. Alright, so I'm going to take this off. See, Dawn and I have the same taste, so she knew what paper it was, I guess, because maybe she has it too. And you know, I bought mine several years ago, though. Alright, so I'm going to pop this on like this, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it. There we go. And then I'm going to put her. Oops, I actually cut out a mat for her too. Now this is, I think it was Sizzix dies. I think that's what it is. So of course, the edge is a little bit bigger than maybe I would have edged it just a little less, but that's okay. So I'm gonna mat her, and I picked, you know, this color because I thought it helped make her eyes kind of pop. So I'm putting her like that. And then I'm going to, and this is Art Glitter Glue. Art Glitter Glue. See, it's Art Glitter Glue. And I love it. And they don't ship it during the winter, so I'm kind of, can't wait to be able to purchase it again. Alright, so these were actually green, and I used my Ohuhu markers that are my cheaper set to recolor them, and then I used 2 different yellows to recolor them. And the green is showing through just a little bit, and that's fine because that's kind of what I wanted it to do. So I'm just gonna put this one up here and this one over here like that. I was trying to get it to kind of look like her flower. And then I'm going to take this. This is a fabric glue because I have these little hearts that I'm putting. And I use this instead of using hot glue gun. It works just the same way. I'm going to put that there. And this one here. I really wanted to put brads, but I did not have 3 of the same kind of brads. And so I couldn't do that. I've got a little bit of glue on here. I'll have to take that off. Okay, I've got this terrible tickle. I'm so sorry. But there is my completed card. Now you could add a few other things if you wanted. Sometimes I think I overdo it on the cards and it takes away from the image, and I don't want to do that. So now what I normally do is I would take a picture and then I see, do I need any shading anywhere else on the card? Like I do feel like right around her eyes need a little bit more. And so I would just get my marker out and I would work on her a little bit more. That's what I typically do. So, you know, like right here, I would probably go in and just do a little bit more because I feel like there's not enough highlight going on right in here, not enough depth. So I would just go in and lightly do a little bit more. So to try to bring it out a little bit. So, you know, you're never done until you feel like you're happy. So, so that is my completed card, and we made it without the internet completely crashing on us. So thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me, and I will see you on Thursday. I think that, yeah, today is Sunday, so my next live is Thursday at 7. So I will see you then. I can't for the life of me at the moment think. I think it's a sheepski image, but this is My Besties, and she's an international doll, and you can download her. The link is on my page, and I'll put the details on my blog with all the colors that I used. And thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the game, and I really hope that Cher is really there at halftime, and I will see you later. Bye.